speaker said, think small to grow big. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome next speaker, Sachin Gill.
Friends, this is a problem with me. Actually, when Mr. Gavankar called me 15 days back, he said, what are you reading next? Frankly speaking, I was reading nothing. But I cannot say no to him. That was a major problem for me. So, since he called, I had to read, and then I had to come up with some presentation. And frankly, I didn't eat frogs. That is the reason I was busy till today morning doing the same thing. But then, he made me read this wonderful book. It was lying in my shelf for long. And then I thought that, if I have to present something, then it should be of VMA standards. And the standards are pretty high in VMA, so I cannot do any injustice to that. So while reading, this book was particularly of very different type of book, because I generally don't read the bestsellers, because those bestsellers are only mostly catchy in name, but I don't find substance mostly. But this book actually I found on some footpath for a very attractive price, so I just bought it, but it was lying. And then when I started reading, I thought, it was worthwhile to read this book. And thanks, Mr. Gavankar, that I was forced to read. Now, it is actually getting bigger by growing smaller. This is based on a review or based on study done in US by Mr. Joel Schulman, and a vice president of a very big corporation. We say that everybody wants growth. Everybody wants, means small companies want to grow big, and big want to grow more bigger and biggest. So, when it is, this is the fact, then what should come next? So, basically when we say that a company should be formed, why is there is a need of company? A company should always outlive its founders. That is the basic dream of anybody who wishes to start an enterprise. But a study which was done for Fortune 500 companies, it says that the average age of companies is 54 years. There are very few companies who have crossed 2 centuries still, and almost 50% of the companies are less than 25-year-old. If you can analyze, you will see that the companies that existed 50 years ago are no longer there. Or even if they are there, they are at a size which is far lower than what they were earlier. So this extensive study was carried out by Harvard Business School, Kennedy Business School, and then they have come up with a model for growth of these companies. What happens is, big companies have a problem. They cannot think of small things to grow. So they have to make huge investments, and then these huge investments might fail. That risk is always there. So they have to think what to do next, how to do next. So this is a major problem for this type of companies. And if they fail miserably. Motorola is a very classic example. Motorola started with the Iridium project, that satellite phone. Once upon a time, these ads were there. And once Motorola failed in that project, Motorola literally went bankrupt. So, normal product life cycle, normal business life cycle is having this classic curve, what we say. It starts, startup phase, it full of activities, full of enthusiasm, all entrepreneurial activity goes, and then slowly it turns to maturity and then decline. This is a normal phase for every type of business activity, also for product. Same is true for human beings also. But then there are certain ways in which we can extend those curves. And this life of these companies can be extended if there are product innovations, then maybe some type of additional businesses which come for that company, and then we can actually extend this life further and further. Now, what are the problems with a small company and what are the problems related to big companies? If you analyze, you will find that small companies always have limited resources, always lack the distribution facilities what they intend to have. They have definitely a very high risk of failure. But it is not that big companies are only all positive. It is definitely not that. They have, if you see that Times and Warner Brothers had a good joint venture. They merged into a collaboration so that to make a very big company. But actually, they had a negative growth afterwards. So this is not with Times Warner only. It is proven that almost 68% companies have negative growth after joint venture or merger and acquisition. And it is only for short term that all these companies grow. And then these companies have very strong bureaucratic culture. And strong bureaucratic culture actually creates a doom for this type of companies. So they have very bigger problems than a smaller company. And to overcome these bigger problems, different type of companies have different type of strategies. So for bigger companies, it is consolidation, then takeovers, maybe diversification, and the most important is they make some investments in strategic form or financial form. So these financial investments are not in our scope today, but then yes, strategic definitely. And for smaller company, majorly it is organic growth. We grow by actually putting our efforts into the business, also our time, and then grow eventually. But now there are different type of growth models which are coming for smaller companies also. That is angel funding, VC funding, then buyout strategies, IPOs, etc. But this is not only the picture for small and big companies. There are other things also. Now, if you think what are the advantages with small company and the big companies, you will find that there are certain advantages like that economy of scale. The bigger the company, it takes smaller effort to actually move things. There are plenty of funds available with the company which are not efficiently used. Then definitely they have large distribution networks and a big brand image. These smaller companies have a very focus, they are working in niche areas, have very good control over their organization, and the ownership is there. If there is no ownership, things don't move forward, as it is proven in very big bureaucratic organizations that good level managers also don't work. And since they are on the ground, they know the competition and their products much more better than the bigger corporates may. Now, there are some advantages of these small companies, and there are some limitations of small companies also. So what to do next? So there were now, based on this, there were different type of growth models for big companies. One was corporate entrepreneurship, in which what happened was the parent firm actually took out some few employees and they said that, okay, I empower you to do certain type of job, but I won't give anything to you, just because you feel that you can do that job. So that is called as corporate entrepreneurship. There was no incentive for the managers to do extra, but then okay, they at least had satisfaction to do something out of that in the company framework only. Then came the model of corporate venturing with or without venture capital, in which what happened was the parent firm took out some employees who were enthusiastic enough to go into a new venture, and they also gave them possible funding, so that and their own IP also, so that these employees can actually work independently. But then in that case, equity was also shared. So that was different from that entrepreneurship. But this type of Means even if this there was funding, even if there was equity, there was always a chance that this type of companies will be again the equity percentage will be very small, and then in that case they will have to sell out their venture without any say on it. That control was not there. Then corporate spin-out was third type of program. In corporate spin-out, what happened was companies were not interested in working in certain areas. So these type of problems were actually offloaded, and then that companies were given to somebody who felt that they can do it much better. So then this type of corporate spin-outs, means there is a classic example in which almost the Nortel, they had almost 12 corporate these spin-outs who became very good businesses afterwards. But this type of these models didn't actually do very well. What happened was there was problem with culture. When M&A of Daimler and Chrysler took place, there were cultural problems in both the companies. And the employees didn't actually merge together, and therefore the companies went bust. Now there is always pressure from VCs to exit, because they said that they wanted to have their money back. So these type of ventures were not able to grow very fast. And then going public, IPO is something which we see very well in this type of companies. But is it the only way out? Is IPO the only way out? So there is a new way which we can now think. This is SEU, that is Strategic Entrepreneurial Units. This is a new growth model proposed by these authors. They said that what they have done is they have combined the minus points or negative points of the small enterprises and also positives of the big one, and then they have come up with a model which will actually overcome the limitations, and we can move forward. What they propose is that risk capital is will go to this will explain it much better. The parent firm is there. They actually form a new company out of the employees which maybe, and also they also have space for external entrepreneurs if at all there are there. And then this new company has a facilitator in between. This facilitator actually acts as a mediator between both the companies, and both the companies pay to the facilitator so that there is no bias on his part. Then they negotiate on certain terms, plan an equity venture, and he also gets some part of equity, the facilitator. And this can be with a venture funding or private venture funding also. So that is there. Yeah. No. Back. So this type of companies, if you analyze them, you will find that the risk capital is provided by the parent company. Major issue. Risk capital is provided, and they also provide their infrastructure. That is, they provide their distribution network, and also they act as catalyst for this type of growth. And these are the exact problems which actually small unit faces. They don't have fund enough to start their company. So if you have that fund in your hand, then you might grow very fast. And since there is no risk of market, whatever will happen, because the distribution network also is there available, made by the big company, so they don't have a problem on that front. So that makes it much more easier to grow. Then this type of companies, they go for strategic investments. So that is long-term growth for the company. So the bigger companies also get benefit out of it, because they have to grow definitely, and if they focus on long-term growth, it is useful for them. Okay, is it over or 5 minutes? Okay. So in that case, the initial capital, since it is there, and they have this entrepreneurial flair of this employees, or they get motivation and they can work very fast on that. there are some different, what is the difference between VC and this type of companies? The major thing is liquidation. What happens is people think that VCs, then when the company is sold out, the actually equity is sold out and then they actually earn. But this is not the only thing. These companies can actually take shares of their parent company and then sell out at their own will and wish. So this venture is not subjected to immediate selling. So they can harvest, and liquidity is much more easier. They can make their shares liquid and earn whenever they want. So that is the major difference from a venture capital format. And facilitators, definitely this is some difference which is not in the existing models. So these are the lessons learned. The most important lesson is this. What I say is that any big corporate today was a very small entity yesterday. So today I am talking to such entities sitting here who I hope and wish will become big and better corporates in future and make my country a superpower. Thank you.
Maybe one question.
Yes. हाँ.
सिस्टमैटिक वर्किंग और ब्यूरोक्रेटिक अप्रोच में कुछ फर्क है क्या? यस सर, सिस्टमैटिक अप्रोच और दोनों में काफी बड़ा डिफरेंस है. सिस्टमैटिक डजंट मीन इट इज नेसेसरी ब्यूरोक्रेटिक. ब्यूरोक्रेटिक का मतलब है जानबूझ के रोड़े अटकाना. मे बी इट इज सिस्टमैटिक, बट लेकिन जानबूझ के अगर किया जाए तो दैट इज ब्यूरोक्रेटिक.
यही तो आसपास है।